Hello and good morning. Welcome to the third game of our robotics game series. Today we're going to be creating a game where the goal is to fly a drone that is able to throw medicine to a hospital. We are thinking and we are going to base our game on the video that is linked here. It's a company called Zipline, and they are sending medicine or blood or different medical packages to hospitals around Rwanda. So they have a project in Rwanda, and they're also testing their drones to do deliveries for companies like Amazon, etc. So let's start our game. We are going to create a new project. We're going to call it Zipline. And then the first thing we need is we're going to create a map. In this case, we're going to create a tile map. But because we are flying, instead of creating a square tile map, we're going to create a long tile map so our drone can navigate that. So we're going to need first the drone. So I'm going to go to sprites, and then set my sprite to, I'm gonna call it sit. Okay, I can draw my own drone, which would be ideal, or I could just go ahead and look for an airplane. I'm going to mirror it. If I go here to the upper left side, I can mirror the plane. And if you remember the video, the zip airplane is white, so it's gonna paint it white, and it has like a red line. So I'm just gonna add some red here, and now we have our airplane. Because it's a drone, it doesn't have any windows or anything, so I'm just gonna make it look like this. All right, so we have our drone already. We are going to now add our tile map. So for that, we're going to go to scene and then set tile map to. Now, if I click on the tile map, I see just a square tile map, but I want to have something long. So this tile map is 16 by 16. So I want to make it longer. So I'm going to go 60 by 16. And now I have a long map. And then I'm going to I'm going to draw some kind of mountain landscape. Remember that you can always take more time to do this. So I'm just going to draw this. Now, where is my my drone starting? My drone normally is launched in a launching site. And then, of course, the end of this should be the hospital. Okay, so I'm going to create a tile with just with one color. So I just add it here. I go to my tiles and I created that, so I can just add the sky. Okay, and then I'm going to create a second tile, which will be my launching site. So it's going to look like this. Basically, that's where my drone is going to be launched from. So here, this is again very abstract, but I think you can tell what it is. Okay, so that's going to be my launching site, which will be here. So this is going to be the launching site. So it's going to launch here, and then it's going to fly. Now, at the end of my tile map, we need to add another tile, which will be a hospital. So you can make it bigger, but in this case, I'm just going to draw, so also the background, the sky, and then maybe some, like a small building here with the red cross. So here we built our hospital. Of course, it's a small hospital, so you don't need to make it super big. This is the entrance. Maybe maybe some windows. So, and I'm gonna put my hospital here at the end of my map. So far, so good. Now I have we have an airplane. Sorry, we have a drone. We also have our tile map. Now I want the drone to start every time to start at the launching site. So for that, I'm gonna go to scene, and then set or place my zip. First I create a tile map, and then this is a common mistake I've seen. You want to place your sprite on top of a tile before creating the tile map. So you always have to create the tile map first, and then place your sprite. So here you're gonna say place zip on top of launching site. So right now, every time the game starts, it's going to be down there. Now I have to tell my camera to follow zip. Okay. So right now, when we play, boom, you're there, okay? So probably it's going to be a hard one to start because I have on my tile map, I have the mountain here. So I'm just going to add that. Now, maybe also important for the map, I don't want my drone to be able to cross the mountains, okay? It has to fly over them. So I'm just going to go ahead and add this the wall tiles here, so my character is not able to fly over the mountain. Okay, so I'm just gonna add that. We are also going to make the game harder in a minute. So right now it's just going to be about creating the tile map, flying. We will also add gravity. So in this case, we are starting to code natural variables such as gravity. So right now, I'm here. I can't move, so I'm gonna say controller, move, zip with buttons. So now if I play the game, I'm able to fly, okay? I'm not really flying. I cannot cross that, so that's fine. So I'm just here it looks like my drone has magical powers, but it's not moving. So I'm going to now add a projectile. How do I add a projectile? Well, I'm going to say, first, I'm going to say set. I want that every time I press the button B, a projectile, in this case is the medicine, that the drone is dropping the medicine. So I'm going to say controller on B button pressed. If I press the button B, create a sprite. So I'm going to say set projectile to projectile from sprite. So what do I know from this block? So if I press the button B, I create a projectile. This projectile is going to be very simple. It's going to be a box with the red cross like this. So it's just very simple. It's my package. And now this projectile is going to come from zip, from the drone, with a certain velocity. So here, I'm already saying that it has a velocity on X and Y. That means it's going to be a diagonal, okay? So you can make it faster, you can make it also slower, but also you can make it go into another direction. In this case, remember the origin is on the upper left side, so it's going to go this way, okay? So let's test that. So if I go there and I click B, I have a package coming, all right? So far, so good. So now we want to add gravity to our plane. Right now I can move however I want, but in this case, first I don't want my character, in this case, well, my player or my drone, I don't want my drone to be able to move up and down. I want to have gravity forcing the airplane to go down. So first, what I can do is disable the ability of the plane of the drone to fly up and down. So I just want my drone to be able to fly left and right. So for that, I can say move my drone with buttons only along the x-axis. I don't want it to move up and down, so I just go to velocity on the y-axis to 0. Now, if I think about gravity is basically a force that attracts a body towards the center of the Earth. So there is some force pulling our drone down, and that force is also generating an acceleration. So what I can do to add gravity is that I can say, you know what, set in this case the SIP, the drone acceleration. So we're gonna say set, I think this is here. So set the y, so an acceleration on the y-axis to 100. Okay, so we are adding some we can put that here. So we're adding an acceleration that is pulling our drone down. Now, this game is going to be a little bit like Flappy Bird, so I want the player to press the button A in order to make our plane fly, our drone fly. So for that, I'm gonna go to controller on A button pressed, and I'm going to say set my velocity. So here in this case, it's gonna be velocity on the y-axis to -50. Let's see how this works. So now that I'm playing, I can, if I press A, see? So now I fly. If I press A, I can fly, but I also have a force pulling me down. So I can go left and right, but I also have a force pulling me down, which I think is pretty interesting because now, I have to calculate. I have to be, if I want to go down, I also have to just not press A. So basically, this is now a little bit more complicated. You can do that. You can also try with velocity. So now that we have that, it is, well, that was luck. Now that we have that, we can start making the game a little bit more complicated. So I can go to the tile map and maybe add some threes here. So let's go add the threes. So let's add them here. Let's put this and then add a background. So it looks cool. Now we put that, and then we put some threes here, a tree, some trees here. And then maybe we can say something like, I was thinking about adding parrots. So if I touch the trees, so on sprite of kind player, if the drone touches the planes, I get an enemy. The enemy is going to be a sprite. So set a sprite. It's going to be called pirate plane. And the pirate plane is going to be a black drone. That pirate plane is going to try to steal the medicine from us. So that drone is going to look like this. It's going to be a black pirate plane that is trying to steal our medicine. And that will be following us. So set enemy, type enemy, and that enemy will follow us. So that will look like this. So if I touch the, set pirate plane to follow sit. Okay. So now if I touch the plane, now I have a plane following me. Okay, and that can make me lose a life, something like that. So what we can do is say In this case, we say create the enemy starts following me, and if on projectile of kind player overlaps with enemy, then I lose a life. So change life by 1. And then maybe also destroy the enemy. So it's not killing me instantly. So it's gonna go sprite, destroy the enemy first. So destroy prior plane and takes a life away. And at the beginning, I have to add that I need to set the life to 3. Okay. So now this is getting more, it's getting harder and harder. So now I start flying. Okay. If I touch this, so I'm gonna get that. Whoopa. So game over. So I have a lot of enemies, so I have to make it so only one enemy appears, so we can work on that. Think about what else you can add. Maybe you can add some clouds. The clouds can be of type food or another type, and every time the clouds appear, you can, I don't know, maybe lose some speed, something like that. Well, fuck. Let me know in the comments what else you added to the game. See you next time.